I was raised as a Jehovah's Witness, but I actually left when I was 15 years old. I was looking for a more positive lifestyle because I was experiencing a lot of trauma coming up. Everything was pushed away. I got more interest in natural elements at some point, and also I started noticing that I was more like clairvoyant. I could see maybe faces like on the wall, or I could see things that look like spirits. You're experiencing these things. It's very scary. It can be a dark entity. You don't know what it is, what you're really calling forward. And you need to be very careful with that.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host Adam from Finding the Alternative, because that's what we do here, we find the alternative. And I have a special guest with me. She's actually already done a video on her Jehovah's Witness exit, but this isn't about that today. We're actually going to talk about New Age spirituality and what's really kind of hidden under that New Age spirituality, even though it might seem like something that is pleasant or light or healing. There's always something else to it from what I've found. So I'll turn time over to her, let her introduce herself and her channel, and then we'll kind of just get into her story about New Age spirituality. So
Yes, hello everyone watching, welcome as well. My name is Clementine, but my channel name is Magical Clay. I'm actually a ex-Jehovah's Witness and ex-Jehovah's Witness YouTuber as well. I'm making all kinds of videos about this topic, from my own story to like everything about this. I'm also discovering more about Jehovah's Witnesses because I was raised as a Jehovah's Witness, but I actually left when I was 15 years old, and I've been talking about that as well with Adam before. It was a kind of a unique story, but I started like getting to know more about Jehovah's Witnesses and what they do, and what I recognized, and I started awakening at some point from being a Jehovah's Witness. Especially from when I was 30 years old. And that is also where I started my New Age spirituality journey, which was very chaotic, extremely chaotic. And I wanted to talk about that because I had good experiences, but also not good experiences. I just wanted to discuss that and talk about it.
yeah, of course. So for someone who maybe doesn't know what New Age means, could you summarize that and just give us like a brief, like if somebody was to describe New Age simply in a couple sentences, what would that mean? What would that entail?
Um, for me, it was like a very eclectic path of like it was like the world was opening for me, and I was becoming very aware of like all kinds of religions, all kinds of life paths that were around. Actually, becoming aware of what the universe does, and like, I had more interest in that as well. I really thought it was some kind of lifestyle as well, with crystals and tarot cards and all those types of things. Um, but it's like I think it's a very eclectic journey for people to find out like what is my thing. I've been believing in Jehovah because my parents told me, but what is my path in that? And also, I think it started because I was looking for a more positive lifestyle because I was experiencing a lot of trauma coming up. Everything was pushed away, like back down, and it was coming to the surface. And I was looking for a way to be calmer with that and to regulate my emotions more.
Gotcha. And from what I've understood of the New Age, it's more about, finding oneself, being in tune with the
Yeah.
universe, being in tune with everything around you, finding your energy level, unleashing your energy level, finding something to sustain your energy level. So it's all about like your kind of like yourself, right? It's all about yourself,
Yeah.
you know. Um, whether you want to take that as like being selfish or something like that, that's not what I'm trying to say, but it's all about oneself. How can I improve myself? How can I attach to the greater good, whether that be an energy field, whether that be opening your chakras, whether that be doing ayahuasca, whatever the case is, you're trying to basically seek answers, and answers come from within, essentially. Um,
Yes.
so you said you, I guess we can kind of start. So first you started with crystals and then you started with tarot cards. Explain how that works and why you started messing around with those.
Mm, I think I got more interest in like natural elements at some point, and also I started noticing that I was more like clairvoyant. I had clairvoyant experiences, or I was experiences that I could I had like a sixth sense or something. Something was very heightened within me because everything was suppressed back in the day. I started to notice things that I've never experienced before. So crystals were meaningful for me at the time. I gotta say, like, also because a lot of other people were working with it, so it was kind of a part of the lifestyle. But also for me, it had meaning. I already liked like crystals back in the day and minerals and stuff. I thought it was very pretty. They're obviously very pretty stones,
Yeah, of
to
course.
say the least. Yeah, and but they became meaningful for me. I put energy onto it, or like meaning to it,
Yeah.
and they help me through things. And same with tarot cards. I noticed that I could read other people, and that I knew what people were experiencing, or like the deeper layers of people. And I gotta say, like it kind of clapped back in my own face when I noticed I started reading for other people, tarot cards, but I usually started reading for myself, so my own experiences in life. And I started to realize that I need to be careful that I shouldn't be manipulating other people with it, because that is very easy to do. People that are maybe naive, maybe that's a big word, people that are like
Vulnerable.
very open to, yeah, maybe vulnerable, that are very open to these types of things, and they don't really have any guidance, or they're not really steering in life. Um, it's easy to tell them exactly maybe what they want to hear, maybe what they yeah, like the think is happening, or because you tell them. You
Yeah.
need to be very careful with that. You're working with energies at that moment, and energy is definitely something um that is there. It's
Mhm.
out there, no matter how it, yeah, what it looks like for you and how you look at it. But it's definitely there, so you need to be careful with that.
Yeah, because you're essentially, they're inviting you into their, spiritual well-being, right? They're placing their spiritual well-being, their soul, or I guess in the new age sense, it's, their self into your hands. And so you're in a trusted position, especially with vulnerable people. And I feel like pastors also have this situation too, where if you're not a good pastor and somebody's vulnerable, you could really do some damage, which happens a lot, unfortunately, as
Absolutely.
well. So when you say clairvoyant, do you mean like you can sense like spirits, or you can sense like just energy, or you can just had this sense of like what other people were thinking? What do you mean by clairvoyance?
Yeah, clairvoyance was indeed, I felt like I was talking to dead people, for instance. There was also something that was very encouraged within the community, as far as I can call it a community, because it was more like people on Facebook or on social media that I was talking to, and they were guiding through my awakening, so called. Um, and clairvoyance for me was that I was already um, very open to people's energies. Back in the day when I was younger, I could feel people were not doing well. I could see it in their face. And it was very heightened for me at the time. And I started seeing like auras around people. I was feeling like I could sense what people were feeling like, and what they were doing and experiencing. And then also, yeah, people that passed away, or like spirits that passed away, I could bring them into the light. That's what I did. Like with sage and bring them into the light. That's what I did at some point on a daily basis.
And when you mean dead people would come to you, essentially, would you see like a
Mhm.
manifestation of them, or would you just simply like feel them and like just more so like a feeling like I feel this person is next to me, or did you actually see like a manifestation?
Yeah, I could see maybe faces like on the wall, or I could see things that look like spirits. Like maybe it could be clothing. I still don't know what it was exactly, but I could also sense people. Maybe I heard whispers as well from deceased people, and I didn't really know what it was, or I didn't really know who they were. But I was kind of scared of it as well. But I felt like I needed to be open to it because I kind of was told to do so because that was part of the spiritual journey. So, which really scared me. Sometimes I felt like it was too much, but I felt like I needed to be open to it.
Because I could imagine, you kind of see these things in movies, right? And
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
can imagine if, all of a sudden, like you probably feel like powerful, like, hey, I can send these people into the light. I'm literally conversing with people who have deceased and no one else can do this, right? So
Yeah.
I would assume you'd probably feel pretty powerful. It'd probably feel kind of cool, pretty good. Um,
Yeah.
but again, there's always that sinister, like, who exactly is coming in? Who exactly is behind all this, right?
Exactly.
That's kind of question nobody asks. They're just like they're so in the moment, and they're like, "Hey, I have these powers. Like this is pretty freaking cool." But
Yeah.
like a lot of them don't stop and think, well, where is it coming from? Because is it coming from God or is it coming from some other place? Um, and so did you ever do like any necromancy, like any like trying to summon the dead, like I don't know, like Ouija board type stuff?
Yeah, I had some friends, or like I still have these people around me, and these people were actually doing witchcraft. One guy is Indonesian, and he's a really cool guy. Still, I still talk to him sometimes. Um, and he is actually practicing some witchcraft. And at one point, I got a board with all these points on it. Like I don't even know what the name was anymore, but I was working with a lot of symbolism,
Mhm.
especially from Buddhas. I even had an altar, and even with like Buddhas on it, all kinds of other stuff with wands that I made myself, also with crystals on it. And I gave them, or I felt like it was given to me. That what the energy was. I was working with dragons. I was working with whatever, all kinds of things, angels, fairies, dwarfs, maybe, like the craziest stuff. I was trying out everything, all kinds of things, and I was surrounded by those elements. Also working with elements, with fire, with air, with earth, and water. So that was important. I've been doing some shell divinity at some point as well, which was like healing with shells. So much magic as well, like being an energy magician, which I really enjoyed at that point. And like, yeah, I've been practicing so many types of things throughout the years that I was practicing this. Like, I think 6 years I've been practicing it.
And I'm sure that, you saw actual results with some of these things, you know, some unexplainable results, some impossible results with these kind of things. And that's something I found interesting as talking to quite a bit of new age practitioners, whether current or former, that some of this
Yeah,
stuff actually happens and the impossible actually does happen, you know,
that's true.
which gives credence to, hey, maybe there's something to this. Hey, maybe there is, maybe this is God, maybe I'm God or something like that, where they have this, it
Yeah,
kind of gives you
exactly.
this superiority complex and you think you're in control, you have the power. And
Yeah.
that can lead you down a really dark path, I feel like, in a lot of cases. Was there anything when you were doing these kind of things, was there anything that did you feel any like demonic presences? Did you feel like any demonic manifestations or anything like that when you were practicing it?
Absolutely. As I was saying that when I was working with these diseased people, or also aliens were a thing at some point that I thought, and maybe I was experiencing. I got very scared because you're not grounded here. If you're not grounded here, and you're experiencing these things. It's very scary when you all of a sudden see something above you or around you. You feel something. I've seen my bed shaking at some point,
Hmm.
and I don't know what it was, but my bed was shaking. I absolutely don't know what it was, but it was almost like something else that was good was trying to wake me up from the things I was doing because it was not good. And I also remember because I was constantly working on a lot of trauma experiences, and I thought I was healing things, but I scared myself more and more and more by always feeling like I sense something, and like, what do I sense in myself? What do I sense in other people? It's becoming so chaotic in your own head. You start seeing things that maybe aren't even there. You start to make up things. Or I was also doing meditations like DMT meditations, and DMT is a natural process, like chemistry in your own body, in your brain. But I like made it bigger, made it stronger by meditating like that. I started really seeing things more because I wanted to see them. You know, I wanted to open my third eye. I wanted to see more. I remember also being downstairs one time, and I started seeing faces on my wall, on my living room wall, and they looked very demonic. And that is also a point where I started to realize that it was absolutely not good what I was doing, and that I needed to tone down. I needed to listen more to myself and step back from the whole community thing and the whole this is the way of doing this, and if you're not doing this, if you're not doing this, this is not spiritual, this is spiritual. If you're not doing this, you're not a good woman, you know. I've been told these things by people that were practicing new age spirituality,
Hmm.
but I was so scared, and I was feeling like it was so so demonic at some point. um yeah, I even have a book which I already got before that. It's actually about dark sects,
Hmm.
and it's a very and it's not a good book, but I remember buying that because I was interested in what it was, but it shouldn't be enhanced from people that are not up to good, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, all those types of things.
Yeah. And what's crazy to me is how, no matter how many times I hear these kind of stories from New Age, it's pretty wild. Cause like the first time you hear something like this, you could just be like, huh, that person is just crazy, right? Like nothing
Hmm.
happened. It's all just, it's a great story, but you know, they're crazy, right? They're high in the sky, like they're whatever, right? You can make up all these excuses in the world. But the thing that I
Of
find
course.
so interesting is just how we tell cult stories, right? Like I told you about my Whimsicott cult story, and you tell me your
Yes.
Jehovah's, and you find similarities, and it's just wild how even though two different cults, but same sort of things going
So
on
many,
there.
yes, so similar to each other. Yeah,
Exactly.
absolutely.
And I find it interesting with these stories with New Age, the same things happen over and over and over again. Whether like
Yeah.
just what you said, like seeing faces on the wall. I talked to a guy that said he saw the same thing, right?
Oh my God. Yeah.
And
Oh yeah.
he talked about using crystals, and he was actually a Reiki healer, right? Um,
Yes.
and he experienced his bed shaking too, like it's the same sort of stuff over and
Wow.
that's what makes me kind of when I hear these stories, I'm just like, okay, if this is just made up and this kind of energy, like, because if people don't believe in demons, they don't believe in angels, they don't believe in energy, God, etc. There's really no rational explanation to why your story of how you could get those senses and tell people things about themselves or whatever the case is, how could it
Yeah.
be repeated over and over and over and over again very similarly?
Yeah.
If there's not something behind it, you know what I mean?
But I think if you're walking a similar path, you are also dragging in the same type of people, the same type of energies. So it's yeah. I think that's very common. That is a common result. You're walking a certain path. Like if you want to have another example for that, is like if you are looking for a certain job, maybe you're doing things that you love to do and you're expressing that, you will find people that are in that field and will maybe help you to find a job in that, so,
Yeah.
or that is my experience. And yeah, I think yeah, like the right people find you, but also the wrong energies will find you
Yeah.
eventually.
Yeah. And yeah, I guess that kind of goes with life too. I mean, it's not just religion. It's not just, I mean, it comes down to community, right? Community, you know, is what builds you. It builds your perspective. It builds your life because, the people you surround you with become you eventually. Um,
Definitely.
yeah. And I guess one thing I want to ask is like, what was some of the craziest experiences you've had when practicing the new age?
um I think um the twin flame journey was a very difficult experience that
What's
I
that?
actually kind of put onto myself. Um, well, it's actually the idea of that one soul was split into two souls, and they were coming to Earth in two bodies, and they are well, they are not perfect beings. Both are not perfect beings, but they are supposed to be together in a divine marriage.
Hmm.
But you are starting off meeting each other in this lifetime, maybe in another lifetime, but you will find each other, and it's also throughout many lifetimes you've known each other in different forms. You also have karma to work out for yourself, but also with each other, maybe. That could be. Some people are together, they say. Some people aren't together, and they're supposed to like meet each other to work out their own karma, um, and then work towards that divine marriage together, or maybe together with God or whatever they believe in. So I think it's a very cult-like experience as well. I think it was crazy. I believe that I met this person because during the time that I met this person, I also started awakening from everything that I believed in, and I started to um, like become a different person. Like things started to shed out of my life. Things changed. Um, and then the whole spiritual stuff happened, and I thought it was because of another person that kind of invoked that in me.
Gotcha.
And they also tell you like, oh, you met that person, and you start seeing him you start to see signs and stuff, maybe the 1111 and whatever, those types of numbers, angel numbers they call them. um and I started literally like trying to get this person to see that I was their twin flame, or they were my twin flame. And that literally ruined our friendship
Hmm.
because I was believing that he was supposed to be my divine lover. And that really ruined our relationship, friendship that we had.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that the twin flame, does that come from like Buddhism or something, or where does that come from?
No, it's I think it's like a very old story as well. I don't even know where it really comes from, but it looks like very God related. Also, in New Age spirituality, it's a big thing. Um, I don't know what the origin is,
But
but they
it's
say
really
like
old origin.
yeah, exactly, yeah, yeah.
Gotcha. And when you're doing all these different rituals, um, you know, did you ever feel like there's anything like demonic behind it? Because from what I've seen a lot of times is people in these new age practices, you know, they think they see angels sometimes, or it's
Yeah.
light, or they do light work or breath work, or whatever the case is. Like, doesn't seem like anything's amiss. And a lot of times
Hmm.
after they leave the new age movement, they kind of look back and they see, oh, Satan masquerades as an angel of light, and all these different kind of things. So they kind of look back in hindsight and say, okay, yeah, no, that was demonic. That was demonic. As you were doing it, did you ever feel like any of it was demonic, or did you feel like everything was just good and everything was pure and hopeful?
No, because yeah, at first I did because I was very like open and I didn't know what was happening. But at some point, I also visited people that were like I started seeing dark energies in their home as well, or I started feeling things that were not okay, and I also noticed my own energy and how I was dealing with other people was negative. So I just wanted because I felt like people were not understanding me and what I was doing. I was chasing them away out of my life. And I think that in itself is already a very negative thing and a dark thing to do because I think it's also egoic. You want to get rid of people, literally. I've never really cursed anyone or something like that. Maybe I felt like I had the power to do that, but I never got that far because I also saw people doing that. They're putting curses, maybe as a witch, putting curses on other people or their a relationship or whatever, trying to get rid of their partner and then so they could have this person or whatever. Um,
So it's very
so I would,
egocentric. Like, it's all about me. It's all about my happiness, my peace, my healing. Nothing
yes.
really to do with anybody else. It's more,
No,
yeah,
no. If people are in the way of your healing and your experience, then they are a bad person. They need to get rid out of your life, and you cut bonds with for instance, Archangel Michael, for instance. He's carrying the sword to cut people's bonds, and that is a thing that is coming to the front a lot within New Age spirituality, or like in well, what I've experienced. And yeah, so people are working with these, and also you don't really know what is behind it. You can say like this is Michael, Archangel Michael, and but it can be a dark entity. You don't know what it is, what you're really calling forward, and you need to be very careful with that.
yeah. And the goal with New Age, I guess, too, is to find that Christ centered, what do they call it? Christ consciousness.
Christ consciousness. Yes,
Yeah, because
exactly.
he's one of the ascended ones, right? And
Yeah.
we're trying to replicate his sort of consciousness. And then there's the age of Aquarius, which is like, they're waiting for something else to happen, basically. Can you walk us through a little bit about what that means, like Christ consciousness and what age of Aquarius is, if you know about that?
Yeah. Yeah. I do know about the age of Aquarius. We just come out of the time of Pisces. It's also the time of Jesus Christ, and also where I think the domestication of society came up there as well. This was a time where divinity became a more important thing in life of the people on Earth right now, and we are entering still the age of Aquarius. So we're not fully into it. We're entering it still from the age of Pisces to the age of Aquarius. The age of Aquarius is very. It also happened like back in the day. I think it was the 60s, 70s, where it was also the age of Aquarius, and there's also a song about it, of course. And but it's happening now. A lot of technological changes are happening. That's what we see a lot with AI and social media and everything coming up. Even the people presenting themselves through cameras is also a thing that I think is very Aquarius related. We are very like eating knowledge a lot of information coming in for us. We're growing from a time that it was more of a dream state, a more divine related state of being, which was very necessary as well to go through, to a more ideology type of lifestyle that we all have and gonna have, and right now it's very chaotic, very it's a mess on the planet with our presidents, with our whatever. Everything is a mess right now because we're just entering this state. We see that we are living through more peaceful things. Like we are not allowed to say certain things anymore to each other, and we're looking after each other more in a sense. We're not just negatively like this subculture is bad and this subculture is bad. It's more loving for nature, very much Age of Aquarius. Yeah, and also the Christ consciousness we're heading towards more and more. When it comes to the Christ consciousness, is well, in New Age spirituality, it's a state of being. So yeah, like you said, there is an I am presence or I am God presence. And when you look at the chakras, from what I've learned, you have like 7 or even more chakras, even higher up there. And there will be the Sahasrara, is the God point, the crown chakra is the God state, where you are some kind of in line with everything. Christ consciousness can be like in all kinds of ways. You can consider it as it is the universe that is guiding me, and I know that it's a knowing. I know. I think that is, and also I am. Is that state of being? So I know I don't have to do anything. I don't have to know anything because I already know. I got this information in from the universe, from God, whatever. And I already know, and I'm walking the path that I know I have to walk. So I think that kind of sums it up,
Yeah.
and it can also be you get access to the like the maybe the Christ consciousness, the all the information of the world, and maybe all the other layers, spiritual layers, or maybe earthly layers, if you look at that in that sense,
Yeah.
yeah, in a spiritual way.
So
Yeah,
you're basically, it's enlightenment, right? You become one of the
yeah,
enlightened ones. And what that means, is it pretty subjective to what that means? Like if somebody says I'm enlightened, because basically from what I've heard, it's like, well, you just know, right? Like you just know if you're
exactly.
enlightened. No one has to
Yeah,
tell you you're enlightened. You just know, and knowing is being enlightened, right? So it's kind of like this circular reasoning of, well, I'm enlightened. Well, how do you know? Because I just am. I know I am.
yeah,
Well, it's
I know. It's
so,
almost like the 144,000 people.
oh yeah, that's a good point. I just know. Well, how do you
Yeah, I
know?
just
I just
know I
know
am.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, I just am, you know?
Don't question it, okay? Just go with it. Um,
Exactly.
so one thing I want to talk to you about, because you
Yeah,
actually brought it up. I didn't know that we were going to talk about
yeah.
this, but you brought it up.
Okay, okay, okay.
What does aliens have to do with New Age? Because it's not the first time I've heard this brought up. In fact, the guy I interviewed before His name's Jason, a really good friend of mine. He's in America. He was a
Cool,
he was
cool.
a Reiki practitioner, and he didn't get to talk about it on his interview that I just did with him, but he talked about aliens. And from what I'm
Yeah.
seeing, there's a ton of alien things in the New Age spirituality movement. And I'm just scratching my head like, why? What do aliens have to do with New Age?
I get it. I get it. What is usually considered a thing that aliens do, they are helping a lot with the technology stuff, like the how do I say that? Like
Technology advancements,
the
like they're behind that?
exactly, yeah, yeah. So they also like, and also you see that in shows, certain shows, like about the ancient aliens, whatever, something like that. They're talking about usually the pyramids. Pyramids are also, and also Egypt is a very big aspect within the New Age spirituality movement, often as well. And also because it's like a faraway land, the things that happen and how do these pyramids came to be, you know? And I think a lot of things that were um, like you cannot explain them. You cannot explain the things that happened and are happening, and also the interest in the planets and in the universe and what is happening there. Is there life on other planets? People are interested in that, and they're also saying they're experiencing aliens. I think they are helping from a certain layer, maybe the ethereal layer within the universe, to yeah, advance people or advance technology, for instance. That's what I do think and know, and what I've been told. So and also a lot of species as well. So all kinds of species, yeah, like these cat type alien people, and these like whatever. I don't even know what their names were anymore, but it was like so many like very Nordic type of aliens that look human, but they're very like light skinned and blonde hair, and I don't know. It's yeah, where does it come from? I don't know. That's still a question for myself as well.
Yeah. And I find it interesting too how a lot of new agers, we'll call them, they seem to have a lot of manifestations from aliens or visitations or dreams or visions of aliens. So I'm still trying to figure out too, like, where's the connection between like aliens and new, because I know it's a part of it. I know sometimes people, like I said, are visited by them or have visions of them or whatever the case is. And then if you ask, the pastors in Christianity, they'll say, well, they're demon manifestations, which I think could be the
Yeah.
case, like your worst fear is the unknown. What's in the unknown? It's UFOs, it's aliens, it's unknown, and demons manifest as that, perhaps. Maybe they take that. It's your worst fear. It's manifesting before you. So I could see that possibility as well. But still very interesting how somehow UFOs and aliens somehow are integral part of the new age movement. It's still kind of baffling my mind.
Yeah, I totally understand. Yeah, and I think it's because people are open to anything.
Hmm,
People can maybe, if they are there, people can sense them because they are open to it, and they're open um, to sense whatever is around them.
yeah.
And I don't know if they're real, or if they're a manifestation of demons, and maybe even a manifestation of angels, and maybe people are more familiar with aliens, and they will only listen if aliens are heading towards them, because they're interested. It could be. I
Yeah.
don't know.
That's a fair point too. I mean, if you think about how, I mean, again, I'm not like a theologian, I'm not a pastor. I'm just a guy that wants to know the truth, that's just interested in these kind of things. So my Christian
Yeah.
audiences just take it take this with a grain of salt, everybody. But if you look at
Yes,
the
we're
Bible,
discovering.
yeah, we're discussing. Like, will we ever really know? I don't think so, right? Will we know
No,
exactly? Probably not, right? But
no.
um one thing I find interesting is if you look in the Bible, when you see how these angels are portrayed, pretty wild, right? You would say almost alien how they look, you know? Um,
Yeah. Beings of light.
yeah. And, they have eyes all over them and they don't look like normal things, right? They don't look like normal things
Exactly.
that we,
Or the biblically accurate ones, you mean?
yeah, you would say they would look alien, so
Yeah,
maybe they are
exactly.
manifestations of, again, I'm not saying I know and that is what it is. I'm just
Hmm.
saying when we look at the facts and we look at all the different things we can and the things we do know and we can see and test, just saying it's a compelling argument. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Um, but yeah, I've always just been fascinated with the unknown, right? Because let's be real, like
Yeah. Yeah.
even I'm a Christian. I believe Jesus is my Lord and Savior, but that's supernatural, right? Like Christianity in itself is supernatural. I mean,
Yeah.
God created the heavens and the earth by just speaking a word. That's supernatural.
Yeah.
He parted the Red Sea. He raised the dead. He, um, rained down fire from heaven, manna, like all these kind of things, healed the sick, all these things, walked on water.
Exactly.
That's supernatural. That's not natural. That's supernatural. And so it's kind of funny when talking among Christian, theologians and stuff like that, they're more like realists, right? They're not really fantastical. They don't have a
No.
fantastical way of thinking about these kind of things. But I'm like, and they play off these kind of things like, oh, that's just nonsense. That's just like energies. What are you talking about? Like these kind of things.
Yeah.
UFOs, aliens, like the unknown. Like, no, we already know everything. It's like the whole Bible is based off a supernatural being. Every
Yeah.
it's like we believe in a supernatural being. That's what makes him God, is him being supernatural. And so I just find it funny how, like in some Christian circles, they're so tight to where you can't even talk about like aliens or like UFOs or unknown because there's a lot of supernatural things that happen and it's not wrong to explore them and ask questions and try and figure out what the heck is going on, you know?
Yeah. I think so too. Yeah. People can be more receptive when it comes to discovering and actually have a spiritual journey. Um, but of course, I'm not the one to tell people to do so.
Yeah.
But I think being more receptive and being able to talk to each other, even if we don't agree
Yeah.
or not believing in the same thing, that's okay. And I think that also invokes more interesting stuff to talk about.
Yeah. And that's what I talk to people all the time, you know. Um like very few people agree with me on very few things.
Yeah,
I have my own faith. I have my own life, my own path, right?
yeah,
Do I think Christianity, as far as I know it and as far as I am right now, is the correct way? Yes. But at the same time, I understand that everyone else has their own path, right? Everyone else has their own destiny, their own life that they have to go through and work things out. And I went through two cults, right?
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
But the problem is when we can't have a conversation about things. That's what drives me nuts.
yeah,
And that's something I try to tell current cult members, right? If you're watching this, Whimscog cult members or Jehovah's Witnesses, when you can't have a conversation with somebody simply because you don't agree with them or because they tell wild stories that you can't verify, doesn't mean that you have to shun them, cut them off, and think badly of them or something like that. Like, and that's what cults do. And I feel like the new age kind of operates in a similar way. Like as soon as you start breaking away
yeah,
from the mold, they cut you off.
exactly.
You're not one of
Yeah.
us anymore. It's very culty.
Yeah, exactly, and that's why I also think a lot of the New Age spirituality is a cult. It is actually one path, or like as much as it can be a path. So they always say like, no, but I'm not the one to tell you. Like you're walking your own path, and okay, I think you're experiencing this, and I think you're like people usually want to give you advice, or they think they feel things that you're experiencing, but they're like, no, but I'm not the one to tell you. You need to explore that yourself. And it's kind of weird. Like they do tell you
Yeah.
what it looks like, and you need to watch this and you need to watch that, and this is what you're experiencing, and this card is what you're doing. And this is what you have, and this is what you're supposed to do. This is what you're supposed to buy.
There's a lot of parallels because they're suggesting so many things, but then it's like a false sense of, you know, it's a false sense of individuality, right?
Exactly.
Because every cult member would say, well, the Jehovah's Witnesses, it's not forcing me to go to church. It's not forcing me to go
Yeah.
to Kingdom Hall, right?
Yeah.
Same with Whimsicog. They would say the
Yeah.
same thing. They're not forcing me to go keep Sabbath. They're not forcing me to believe in God the Mother. But it's so like under what do you call it? What's the word? It's like being coerced though, in a way. It's
Yeah.
subliminal, right? They're slowly feeding you incremental things, changing your perspective of reality, changing your
Yeah.
perspective of facts, of language, of experience, of everything. They're breaking you down and
Yeah.
slowly rebuilding you at the same time to where it's like they don't have to anymore. They don't have to force you. They
No.
already have it. They already because through suggestion and through subliminally, imprinting on you and feeding you little increments here at a time, a little bit
Yeah.
at a time, you're transforming without you even knowing what's happening.
Exactly. So they're actually erasing you bit by bit, and you don't even know about it.
Yeah, and they're replacing you
So,
bit by bit. You know,
yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
it reminds me of what this is. I would say a very very accurate depiction of what happened to us in a cult is,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
what's funny is I got this example from the cult. So they were honest.
Mm.
This is how brazen they were. They were showing us exactly what they were doing to us, but we didn't know that they were doing it to us. Right?
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
this was the example, and this is like from their general pastor, the Korean Doomsday Cult. Their general pastor, he's this old Korean guy that does the bidding and enforcement, all that stuff. Anyway, he gave us an example years ago in one of his sermons where he was talking about the life, like how to basically tame an elephant, right? So he paints this picture. There's a circus, right? They have a brand new baby elephant. Well, how do you train it? Because an elephant's kind of crazy and does a lot of things, and they're hard to control, right?
Yeah.
So they would get a big rope and tie it to a pole, right? That's how they would train it and break its spirit, right? And but over time, right, even though the elephant keeps thrashing and thrashing and thrashing when they're little, over
Yeah.
time it gets used to no results, right? After the thousandth time, 2000th
Yeah.
time of doing it, no result. And so eventually what happens is they start using thinner rope, right? Start tying it up with thinner rope and then thinner rope over the course of time. And then pretty soon, when they're an adult elephant, they don't even tie the rope to the pole anymore
No.
because the elephant is already trained to know because he's like, I've already done this 550,000 times,
With
no
no
result.
results.
And so
Exactly.
the tamer does not even need to tie the lead to the pole anymore because the elephant is not going anywhere. It already did that. It's already programmed in its brain that it's not going to happen. And so it doesn't even
Yeah.
bother. And that's what cults do. And they showed this example when we're all brainwashed in the cult. They were literally showing
Yeah.
exactly what they're doing to us.
That is so crazy.
How
That
wild
is
is
so
that?
crazy. And people don't even know that they are doing the same thing. They are that elephant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like
That is crazy.
and they showed it to us blatantly, like, "Hey, this is exactly what we're doing to you, but you're too dumb and brainwashed to know."
Yeah.
But I feel like New Age kind of
Oh
has
my
a similar
God.
thing, right? Because in New Age, you kind of get this power, the sense of like, "Well, I'm powerful. Like I'm a powerful. I know a lot. I can do this. I can do that." And I feel like in a
Yeah.
way, it kind of does the same thing where it kind of over time it builds you up so much to where you think so much of yourself to the point where
Absolutely.
you become a complete shell of what you used to be, right?
Yeah.
Maybe you used to be kind, humble,
Oh,
loving, this kind of thing, but now you're like arrogant and rude and you're cutting people off and you're like just anyone who doesn't agree with me, get out of my life. You're hurting like so I think all these different
yeah.
kinds of things slowly but surely they start building you up or excuse me, they start breaking you down, but then start replacing you as they're breaking you down into something where you're a shadow, a shell of your former self, which is wild.
Absolutely. Yeah. Definitely. I remember being like absolutely not recognizing myself anymore. I couldn't do anything that was bringing me joy anymore. I didn't know what it was that was bringing me joy, because my whole life was about, I need to heal this from my past. I need to work on this traumatic experience. I saw people, they said like 24/7 a day, I am working on my traumas. That is the only thing I'm doing the whole day. And they're allowed to do whatever they want to do. And maybe it worked for them. I don't know. But it made me so extremely depressed. And also, you're spending a lot of time with yourself the whole time. Like, I need to look at this. I'm not good with this. I need to journal this, what I was doing, what I was feeling, what I was experiencing. What does that mean? What is the under layer of this that I'm experiencing? What am I doing wrong? Also, you need to put the mirror in your face the whole time. This is what I'm doing. Why is this person feeling this? Because I am sensing something in myself that I'm feeling, I'm rejecting, or something like that. The whole time you're blaming yourself. You're feeling very sad. You're feeling very depressed. You're feeling like you're lower than low in that
Yeah.
time. I was very depressed and rejecting people.
Yeah, I can see that. Same thing with the
Yeah,
cult, honestly. I mean, if the cults, when you're in the cult and you see an outside threat, right? Whether that be an idea, whether that be a different belief, whether that be a different, um, you know, type of person that isn't in the cult, like whatever the case is, they have their stereotypes. They have their, you're one of us, you're not one of us. Anyone that falls in the "you're not one of us"
exactly.
category, you feel the same way. Like, you don't help them, you don't do anything, like you don't, like you just hate them and you disdain them, and and it's all
Yeah,
about you. Like, oh, I don't want to deal with that person, right? I'm in the truth.
exactly.
This, I'm that. I'm a good person.
Yeah,
it's the same.
I'm doing the right thing. I know that. Yeah, I remember that. Also, being a Jehovah's Witness, um, and also being an ex-Jehovah's Witness, I believe that my parents were actually were the only people around me doing the right thing. And then I start realizing this was actually not true, and
Yeah.
that I was feeling very hopeless sometimes around them, and that they were like doing things. And some people think that I'm respectless against my parents, or like the Jehovah's Witnesses, the Kingdom Halls, the Kingdom Hall that I've been, and conventions or whatever. I've been told, and I'm like, but I didn't choose to be a part of Jehovah's Witnesses. My parents choose to be part of that, and they took me with it. And I never wanted that in the
Yeah.
first place. I never said yes to that. It just happens
Yeah.
because you're with us. You had to come along, and and I also saw my parents unhappy. So that is not good. That is not okay.
No.
They were miserable.
No, it's not. Yeah, it's just I see so many parallels in the New Age movement and the same kind of destruction and same kind of self hurt and self depression that comes from being in a cult. You kind of see the
Yeah,
same thing.
yeah.
Mm.
The isolation is something that I really experienced, and a superiority that you feel you have over others, or from like against others, maybe, while you're preaching that you're doing the right thing and good, and you're seeing through other people, and you're not actually.
Yeah, it's like a
Yeah,
false sense of like self righteousness, false sense of superiority, like you said. Um,
yeah,
I guess to wrap this up, is there anything else you wanted to talk about? Because we're hitting 53 minutes. Is there anything else you want to talk about before we
yeah.
kind of wrap this up a little bit? Did we cover
Let's
everything?
see. Let's see. Well, some things were like, some things I cannot clarify really. For instance, I have an example when it comes to spirituality and knowing things. Um, at some point, I was doing theater. I had theater class, and I remember dreaming of a guy. It was a very charming guy, and he was wearing beautiful blue clothing, and he was standing there. And I was told in my dream that I need to be careful of this guy. And I didn't even know who this guy was, But that aside, I think the next day, maybe that week, I was looking on the website of this theater school, and I was going there, and I saw a picture of this exact guy, and I was like, what is this? I've never seen this guy before. I never saw him before. I didn't know this guy. And I saw him and I was like, what the heck? Why am I seeing this guy? What, and also, why am I being told that I need to be careful if I'm continuing this on the school, to be careful of this guy? And he was a teacher of the children there. But I never met this guy because I quit at some point and I never met him. But it was so strange that I didn't know this guy. I never saw him before, and I find him on this website for my theater school, and I was like, what the heck is this? So I've experienced a couple of things that I'm like, this, I don't know where this comes from. How do I know this? And these are, sometimes there's such strange experiences.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
life is strange, and that
Oh, yeah.
that can be a beautiful thing, and that can also be a terrifying thing from what I
Yeah,
found out, you know? Um, and
absolutely.
life has ups and downs, like, I would say, you know, even in hard organizations like being in a cult, I mean, there's still ups and downs, but at the end of the day, that's kinda what makes life interesting, right? Like,
Absolutely.
I do I wish that I had all those 10 years back being in the Korean doomsday cult? 100%. No, you didn't
Yeah,
have to ask me
of course.
twice. But do I think that I learned stuff from it? 100%. I learned a lot of things from it. A lot of good and bad,
Yeah,
right? I learned a lot of good things and bad things. Uh,
yeah,
but at the end of the day, that's what makes life interesting. That's what makes life beautiful is there is things that happen that, we have to go through trauma. We have to go through depression, losses. But also, we win
absolutely.
sometimes too. We win. We get like I feel like I am super blessed because I have 3 beautiful children, a beautiful wife that loves me and takes care of me, and I have a good job, and I'm able to make videos and talk to people like you that have awesome experiences that can help other people. And I don't think in my mind, like, could I have done that any other route? I don't know, but I'm glad that my life took the turns the way it did, because now I feel like I'm a better person now. I can help more people. I'm more appreciative of my family, more appreciative of my freedom, more appreciative of my wife, of really everything.
Yeah,
But
yeah, that's great.
yeah,
You also got 1K followers.
I
Congratulations.
did. Even even with my I don't know if you see my channel, but I closed it down.
Oh, really? I haven't seen. No.
Yeah, I mean, I still have all the videos. I just privatized all my videos, and the story is because
Okay.
um the Korean Doomsday Cult. It's funny because I was doing a Jehovah's Witness video. I wasn't even doing a video on the Korean Doomsday Cult.
Well, really?
Yeah, it wasn't even about them. It was about Jehovah's Witnesses. And I showed for 3 seconds a chalk drawing of a picture of the Korean god, the mother, right?
Okay.
It was a
Yeah.
chalk drawing of it. Like, I put it through ChatGPT. It was on the screen for 3 seconds. I was commenting on it. Clear fair use.
Yeah.
Clearly fair use,
Yeah.
right?
Clearly.
And they copyright struck me. And YouTube took the video down.
Oh,
And it happened twice, right? Same thing with another video.
yeah.
I had a photo and I was commenting on it. It was during my story. Same thing, fair use, right? Took that
Yeah.
so now I have 2 copyright
Oh,
strikes.
no.
And so I privatized all my videos, and I'm waiting until actually in a few days I'm gonna publicize them again because my other copyright falls off at that point. And I marvel at the Jehovah's Witnesses because I'm watching videos that literally have screen recordings of their watchtower video.
Yeah.
They're commenting on it. I'm like, I couldn't even have a chalk drawing of an image, and they
Yeah.
copyright struck me down. But you have Jehovah's
Yeah.
Witnesses, they're playing whole videos from the watchtower commenting on it, and I just
Exactly.
couldn't even use a photo. Not even the photo. I mean, I couldn't even use a chalk drawing of the photo. They took.
Crazy. Yeah, I've been reacting to whole videos, like whole Bible studies. I've been reacting to that, and just one picture. There was also
It wasn't even a picture. It was a chalk
no,
drawing of a picture.
yeah, yeah. That's just that
So
is so crazy.
it's petty. It's so petty because they will never
Yeah,
dare
yeah.
come and challenge me and argue with me or come on the channel and fight their case. They just do this petty behind
No,
the scenes thing, and YouTube apparently doesn't care about fair use either, which I found that out very fast.
yeah,
Technically, I could be like YouTube, screw these people, put it back up, but then they could come after me for like they could sue me for copyright after that. So I'm just like whatever. I'll just
yeah.
lay low for a couple of days and I'll put everything back up here once my first copyright strike falls off. But anyway, that's why I don't have any videos at the moment. But we're already at an hour. Is there any last things that you might want to say to somebody who's maybe in New Age or thinking about New Age? Any recommendations, anything like that?
Yeah, something that I've currently realized was that spending all my time alone with myself, the whole time focusing only on healing my traumas, was really pulling myself away from other people. And the thing that I want to do right now is actually be with other people. It's good weather, it's sunny, it's almost summer. I have been hanging out with people and I had a really good time doing so, and I wish you would have the same thing. You don't have to distance yourself. Also because it has been locked down, we are not in that anymore. We can be together. Find the people that love you, because they are out there, you know. Absolutely, take time out to find yourself. But I think you keep it moderately, because we're all looking for community. We're all looking for love, maybe a relationship even. Um, be open to that, because that is where you're manifesting, being open, and you will know. You know, you don't have to look for anything. You know, you already know. You know, you say, I am presence, you know, the I am presence, I'm God. Okay, but you know, you already know. You already know.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's maybe from my hippie heart, I would say, like, spread that love and happiness that you are actually. Oops. Spread that happiness and love that you are and have within yourself, and that's all you have to give, you know.
Yeah.
And be together,
Yeah.
enjoy time together.
And I would say too, that's basically the whole premise of Christianity, is love one another, love God, and if you love God, you'll love one another, right? So
Yeah,
those who say they have the I am presence, right? The God presence, that means, okay, if you do, according to God, you should love each other. You should serve each other. You should take care of each other, be in community with each other, and help each other. But all right, well,
exactly.
thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate your time with this, and we'll collab on this. So everyone, you'll see her channel. Go like and subscribe. Let's get her to 1,000 because she's got a really good channel. She's got a lot of really good stories, and she's got a lot of really good videos. So let's try and get her
Thank you.
to 1,000. And also on the screen, you'll probably see a playlist of ex-Jehovah's Witness testimonies, which you'll see her testimony on there too. So go check out her testimony. It was a really good one. I was really excited about that. And yeah, we'll see you guys on the next one. God bless.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.